While the nation and the world continue to offer their condolences to the Tutu family, those who've had the privilege to call him their neighbour have also reflected on his contribution to their community. The late Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu moved into his Soweto home back in 1975, where he lived with his family before subsequently moving to Cape Town. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi was in that community for us. He filed this report.
A giant of South Africa, civil rights leader, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and one of the most respected men and figures in the whole of Africa, Desmond Tutu.
Now, friends, before I tell you...
It may not be hard to place Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu on the country's historical map, but it's difficult to confine his life and work to one geographical location. And just like his indelible mark on South Africa's history, the laureate walked in his own tracks and left footprints of impact in various parts of the country and the world. The renowned Vilakazi Street in Soweto was named after Benedict Vilakazi, the first black South African to receive a PhD. It later became known for being the only street in the world to be home to two Nobel Peace Prize winners, former President Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Tutu took up residence in the street in 1975, where he lived with his family and experienced many milestones in his life, like receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, as well as celebrating his 50th wedding anniversary with his wife, Leah Tutu. It was while he lived in this house that he also chaired the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in the heart of the apartheid government-established township, Soweto. His neighbors' children enjoyed close proximity to the man who was a hero to many.
The Archbishop and Mama Leah Tutu, they had a relationship with my parents, because they are the ones who welcomed us when we moved in 1979, and I suppose they moved here in 1973 when they started staying here in Vilakazi Street or in Pacela Street. And they were nice people, and I remember when I was young, my mom used to come and visit Mama Leah, and they used to say, instead of my mom rounding around, it will be better they have a gate between the two walls, from my place and their place.
Situated right in between the Mandela and the Tutu houses, Makubela went on to turn his parents' home into a successful restaurant right at the doorstep of the Archbishop's home, riding the crest of the wave of the students, laureates and doctors who paved the way for the generations that came after them.
Because of his exposure to the world, living in London, also in Atlanta, US, it made him to be aware that it's important to speak different languages. And he was more like a father, always smiling, full of jokes. When he's bringing his tourists or his guests from overseas visiting, he would come and dine with them here at Sakumzi restaurant.
Decades down the line, this extraordinary man was a father to many, who also enjoyed the sight of seeing him jog amongst them.
He could have actually come back and stay wherever he wanted to, but he actually opted to stay with us in what is popularly known as Beverly Hills of Soweto, and in a famous street in the whole world, which he contributed for the rest of this street, because he was awarded the Nobel Peace Laureate, and he deserves it. And because he was always with smiles, he would giggle. I remember he would say, "Hey, you're beautiful," and therefore, which was a sign of an acknowledgement.
Through his work, he went on to live in various parts of the world, while this remained his Johannesburg home. Registered as a Johannesburg Historical Heritage Site, this house saw a plaque unveiled as part of the city's heritage trail by what was then called the Simon van der Stel Foundation. And while it is not open to the public, It sees tourists from various parts of the world visiting to learn about the richness of the street and the township. Candles light up the pavement of his former home with flowers in honor of a peacekeeping man who fought during the country's darkest hour. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Mnisi in Orlando West, Soweto.